Hello there and welcome to Yoga with Andrea. So today we're going to be practicing chiefly a lower body sequence to stretch out the hamstrings, the quadriceps, and we'll be having the opportunity to have a little play with Hanumanasana or splits. So have yourselves a couple of bricks ready and a strap handy, and let's get started. So as we're ready, coming to a comfortable seat, getting grounded and stable through the pelvis, and start to lengthen through the spine and take some nice deep breaths. So as we sit here and tune in from our practice, just going to give you a little bit of background on Hanumanasana, or the splits pose that we're going to be able to play with today. So the physical representation of Hanumanasana can be linked to the monkey god's ability to leap across huge distances with a little help from the power of flight. So perhaps you bring into your intention today this idea of taking a leap, cultivating this ability to persist when things get challenging, devoting oneself to our practice, and bringing to mind this idea of courage and triumph over evil. So, as we're ready, start to lengthen and deepen the breath. Palms are resting up to receive or down to relax. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Lengthen through the spine and the crown of the head. Start to lengthen and deepen the breath. Take some deep inhales, some smooth exhales, inhales, exhales the same length. Perhaps you can bring in your Ujjayi breath, your triumphant ocean breath. And then bringing those palms to touch in front of the heart in Anjali Mudra, mudra of reverence for what we are about to practice. And then let's begin by reaching for a strap. A belt or a tie will do all equally well, so reaching for whatever you have to hand. And we're just going to begin by wrapping it around from behind and then sweeping one piece of the strap over the right shoulder, one over the left shoulder, and crisscrossing over the back. So we're going to practice here a nice little posture helping pose. So this one's called Yoga Backpack. So taking the opposite straps into the opposite hands and drawing those palms down the length of the spine, which you will feel drawing the shoulder heads down, opening across the collarbones and keeping that spine nice and tall. So enjoy this opening sensation across the chest. Perhaps you can sit on the heels or sit on the soles of the feet if that feels more comfortable. Wherever you are is fine. And take some deep breaths here. Knees together. Tailbone tucking underneath you, drawing that tummy lightly in. And then from here, coming off of the heels, we're going to slide on down now onto our bellies on the mat. So keep the strap or the belt or the tie exactly where it is, keeping opposite straps in opposite hands. And then from here, we're going to lengthen through the feet, coming onto the tops of the toes, and start to bring that strength into the belly. Draw the belly in towards the spine as you inhale and peel the head and chest off the floor, drawing the palms down the length of the spine, and hold for a couple of breaths. And then when you are ready, gently lowering onto your right ear. Rest. And then practicing that again. On your inhale, draw those belly muscles up and in, tuck the tailbone towards backs of heels, draw the straps down the spine, peeling the head and shoulders from the mat. And then gently lower onto the left ear and rest. As we're ready, third time. Drawing those shoulders open, shoulder blades down the length of the spine. And then from here, tucking those toes under, pulling back, releasing that strap from over the shoulders. Put it off to one side. And then from here, lowering back down all the way onto the belly, we're going to come into crocodile pose. So resting the chin on the palms, and the closer in you walk the elbows, the higher up the chin lifts, and just enjoy this lower back softening as you passively stretch the upper to mid back here, drawing those shoulders away from the ears. So posturally, this is also a really good one, much like yoga backpack. It's a really good one to support proper and right posture, to open up the shoulders, open up the chest. And then slowly lower those forearms down, shoulders width apart, elbows beneath the shoulders, and press that heart forward into Sphinx pose. Again, keeping that lower body soft and taking it into an upper back stretch passively. From here, pressing through the palms of the hands if it's okay on your back, and pressing up into seal pose. So lengthen through the arms, bring your body into more upright position, supporting that weight on outstretched fingers, and then gently lower back down as we pull back to a comfortable seat. And from here we're going to have our bricks handy. So we're going to place one on the middle setting and one brick behind us on the highest setting. And then again, we're just going to help our posture out a little here. We're going to fold our body overneath the bricks, resting the base of the skull on the brick, resting the mid back on the brick at the middle setting, and then just folding that body over, reaching for opposite elbows up and overhead, then lengthen through the spine. Just a nice deep chest expander. Also stretching into the shoulders, opening up here. And then from here we're going to bring the arms in front of the body and fold into Garudasana arms. So stack the left elbow on top of right. And then exhale, releasing, reaching for opposite shoulders behind the head, and again resting on down if that feels comfortable. Again, it might be the case that 2 bricks behind the body is too uncomfortable, so in which case adjust by removing 1 brick. Perhaps you can adjust the setting of the brick so that it's more comfortable in your body, allowing you to rest more easily on the ground, on the surface beneath you. Keep that lower body soft, the toes soft, just passively stretching that chest. And then on an exhale, we're going to switch the cross of the arms and come into Garudasana arms, stacking the right elbow on top of right, reach those palms to touch, then lifting those fingertips a little overhead. And then on your next exhale, releasing the arms to shoulders height before pressing through the palms and the feet. A little bit of a windy day today. And coming up to sitting. From here, we're going to step towards the back of the mat and bring the balls of the feet onto the brick. And we're going to come into a nice deep hamstring stretch here. So folding in, lifting those arms, palms are facing, reaching up and lengthening, exhaling, folding over, hinging from those hips, again reaching for opposite shoulders, allow the crown of the head to dangle towards the forearms. And just start to feel that stretch through the balls of the feet into the heels, all the way up the calves and hamstrings as you allow gravity to help you along here. Feel free, if necessary, to bend at the knees here, and maybe even have a couple of bricks handy so you can space out the feet a little, and just easing gently into that stretch until you feel that mild edge in the calves and the hamstrings. Just allow gravity to sink that upper body towards the floor, dangle the crown of the head, releasing the lower back. Again, bending at the knees if you need to do this to protect the lower back. We don't want to overload the lower back. And breathing deeply into that space between the shoulder blades, drawing the tummy up and in. Conscious of that rise and fall in the body with the breath. Again, remember you can bend at the knees to avoid overburdening or overloading that lower back. So adjusting however feels good in your body, playing your mild edge. Then as we're ready, inhale, look up, stepping back off the brick or bricks, and then gently lower, folding from those hips. And then reach for a bind. If you can, bend at the knees and reach the arms around the backs of the knees and reaching for a bind, reaching for opposite wrists or elbows. just gently cupping the backs of the knees however feels comfortable for you. Otherwise, it might be the case that your fingertips are resting gently on the ground. And again, remember, you can bend at the knees here, or perhaps you have that mobility and you can lengthen through the hamstrings and get those legs to all the way straight. It really doesn't matter as long as you feel that stretch. You can reach for the ankles, calves, thighs, wherever feels comfortable for you as you fold in towards those knees. Going to hold here for a moment longer. And just noticing the difference in the length through the hamstrings. And then as we're ready, inhale, look up. We're going to step back with that right foot, keeping all of the toes of the feet facing forwards towards the short edge of the mat. So draw that left hip back, that right hip forwards, and maybe even support the palms of the hands on bricks either side of that front foot, and you can walk the bricks as far forwards or as far back as feels comfortable. And then we're going to press that tailbone towards the back of the room or behind you, and again work those hips towards square, towards the front of the mat. If you already have the mobility in the hamstrings and can lower the fingertips onto the floor, then please practice here. But again, we don't want to overburden the lower back, and we don't want to feel a burn here. We don't want any sensations that veer into pain. Just playing your mild edge and just feeling that stretch, pressing through that back right heel, big toe mound of the left foot, and then making sure that our alignment is right on the mark here. You can peel up those front toes and press that front heel in towards the ground, and you'll feel those hips align towards the front of the mat as the tailbone draws beneath you and the tummy pulls up underneath the ribs. So putting back those left toes can get those hips into the perfect alignment, facing forwards. And then exhale, lowering that left foot back down. So this is pyramid pose. And then walking those bricks off towards the right hand side of the mat, or off the mat towards the right hand side. And again pressing through the big toe mound of that front foot, outside of back foot. And just bring those arms into a downward dog position. So spreading out through the fingertips. Keep that breath long and deep. Breathing deep into the belly, deep into the hamstrings. And then as we're ready, inhalers come up. We're going to walk those fingertips back round, taking the bricks and props with you. Otherwise lowering those fingertips either side of that front shin. Front knee over front ankle, spread out through the toes, and then gently sinking through those hips, hip points towards the front of the room or the front of the mat, and adjusting the height setting for those bricks to press that heart forward and allow those shoulders to rest down away from the ears as you come into a low lunge here. And then as we're ready, tucking those back toes underneath, and we're going to lower that back knee, so that right knee onto the brick, just ahead of the kneecap here, so above the kneecap to protect the knee joint here. And then bring that left hand to the inside of the left thigh or shin and reach around, kicking up that back foot as an extra option here. So kick up that back foot and either hook that back foot with the elbow or the palms of the hands, draw those shoulders down. Stretch through the groins and get a nice deep quad stretch. If you're feeling like already you've managed that stretch, perhaps then you can bring those fingertips back round towards the front of your mat and start to walk the feet apart, coming into splits or Hanumanasana. But to come into this posture, really important that you keep the hips nice and level so that you don't open up the hips and destabilize the pelvis here. Then as you're ready to come out, take an inhale, press through the bricks or press through the floor to release those feet. Coming back up to standing and step that right foot forwards for the same thing on the other side. So coming into pyramid pose, modification. So bringing those bricks or props either side of that front foot, press through the big toe mound of that right foot, outside edge of back foot. Keep those hips nicely parallel with the floor. Hip points facing the same direction, And then drawing that right hip underneath you, that left hip forwards, and again adjusting the position of the bricks, bringing them as far forward or as far back as you can, comfortably stretch, and then folding the upper body over that front shin, remembering to keep a nice steady pelvis here. As you lower the crown of the head towards the floor, keep those shoulders away from the ears, and again adjusting the setting of those bricks. Take an inhale and peel those right toes back. And again, drawing those hips to parallel. Take an inhale and then gently folding back over that front shin to feel those hips come into deep alignment. If you need to put a bend in the back knee or the front knee, if you need to put a bend in the back knee or the front knee at all to modify here, feel free to do that. And then walking those bricks off the left-hand side of the mat and bringing the palms of the hands to those bricks or to the floor if you don't need them, and coming into downward dog arms. So pressing through that chest, press that heart towards the floor, bring those arms and ears in line, and continue to press through the outside edge of that back foot, the big toe mound of that front foot, and release that tailbone towards the sky as you draw the tummy underneath the rib cage, and just lengthen from the heels up to the tailbone and all the way down through the fingertips. Bringing those shoulders into one line. Breathing deeply into those tight spots. And then as you're ready, inhale as come up, walk those palms back in towards the body. Put a bend in that front knee, lowering onto that left knee, and then coming into a low lunge. Again, adjusting the height setting of any props that you might have alongside that front knee. Sink those hips forwards, hip points facing the same direction, spread out through those front toes, front knee over front ankle. Maybe interlace those fingertips behind that right knee as you draw the shoulders down and press that heart forwards, keeping the crown of the head nice and long. So again, just a nice modification if that feels good. Extra breath here. Inhales, exhales the same length. And then as you're ready, tucking those back toes underneath you, and we're going to lower back onto that brick. So bring that brick just above the knee if that feels comfortable, or on the knee if that feels comfortable. Go carefully here on that knee joint. And then if the knee feels comfortable, if the quadriceps feel nicely comfortable, reaching that left elbow or left palm to left foot. Bring that right palm to the inside of front shin. Keep that right knee over right ankle. And then press that heart forwards. Draw those shoulder blades down the waist as you press the heart forwards. Perhaps looking over that left shoulder towards the toes. Otherwise you can just release that foot and lower the fingertips towards the floor, or stay in your low lunge. Whichever feels most comfortable, but you get a nice groin stretch here. Keep that tummy drawn in, tailbone tucking beneath you. Maybe you can lower that right ear towards right shoulder to feel a stretch in the neck. So again, just going with what feels good, and then gently releasing that brick from underneath the knee. Bring that heart forward into your low lunge, and then sliding out into Hanumanasana or splits, keeping those hips nice and parallel with one another. So drawing that right hip underneath you, that left hip forwards, keeping those hips as parallel as you can as you gently sink towards the floor. Keep that heart pressing forwards, shoulders resting down, and length through the crown of the leg. As you're ready, tucking those back toes underneath, releasing those feet. And then gently shifting off to one side as we lengthen through both legs alongside one another. Stretch those toes towards the body, reaching for your strap, your belt, your tie. Wrap it around the balls of the feet and sit nice and tall, getting evenly distributed through both the sit bones. And then as we're ready, we're going to wrap that strap or belt around the ball of the right foot and press through that heel as you draw the toes in towards the body. Keep that heart pressing forwards, length through the spine as you walk the palms towards the feet. And lengthen through the hamstrings, through the calf muscles. Keep pressing through that right heel, into that right hip. Really feel that stretch deeply there. Keep the belly nice and strong to protect the low back. And hold. And then as we're ready, switching that strap into the right hand and taking it into a nice open twist, drawing that right knee into right armpit as you reach for the back of the mat with your left fingertips and look over left shoulder. Exhale, draw that foot back through center and lower right foot alongside left, noticing any length sensations, any differences from one foot to the other. And then switching sides, so drawing that belt around the ball of the left foot, draw it in towards the heart. Inhale, exhale, press that heel up towards the sky as you walk those palms towards the feet. Down the strap, press through that left heel, toes drawn back, heart pressing forwards, length through crown of head, tummy strong. Keep the right toes drawn back also for stability there. And hold for a few breaths. Inhales, exhales, the same length. And then as we're ready, we're going to take it into that twist. So draw that left elbow into left knee, or left knee in towards the armpit, twisting over towards the right hand side, reaching for the back of the mat. Then exhale back through center and lower feet alongside one another. Shifting your strap over to one side now. And just gently coming onto all fours and pulling back into downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, lift that right heel straight up towards the sky and open that hip for three-legged dog. On your exhale, step that right foot forward, inhaling into high lunge. Reach fingertips behind the back of the head and press that heart forwards, squeezing those elbows out towards the side, then opening into warrior two. Keep that right knee over right ankle as you lengthen through the fingertips. Maybe shorten the stance here before bringing that weight into the front leg and coming into half moon pose. For a little extra, you can reach for that left foot with left palm and press that foot into the palm of the hand as you draw the tailbone underneath you. Draw the tummy in, supporting the weight on those fingertips about 6 to 12 inches in front. Then exhale softly with control, lowering that left foot down and then switching to the opposite side. Coming into high crescent lunge. Send those palms high, palms are facing, tuck the tailbone under, draw the tummy in, then exhale opening into warrior two, pressing through outside of back foot, left knee over left ankle. Lengthen through crown of the head. Then as you're ready, stepping forwards, bringing the weight into that front foot as you reach for the floor with those left fingertips, and then reaching into Shavasana. Right palm comes to right foot, press foot into palm as you lengthen away and take it into a gentle back stretch, gentle chest opener. Bring those shoulders into one line and look up towards the sky if that's okay on your neck. Hold here, straightening through that left foot, reaching for those fingertips and then with control gently lowering back through and switching sides. Windmill those palms, framing that front foot, step towards the back of your mat, then lower onto the knees. Coming into hero pose here, knees together, resting the palms of the hands. And then we're going to come into a beautiful quadriceps stretch here. So tucking that left foot beneath you and bring that right knee to bent, pressing through right sole of foot. Tuck the tailbone under, draw the tummy in and sit stably through both sit bones. Perhaps you can bring your bricks alongside the body or just behind. And lower onto the forearms here. Lowering gently the weight of the body towards the mat and press the heart forwards, shoulders over elbows. And gently bring that weight towards the back of the mat, lowering down till you feel that stretch through the quadriceps muscle on the front of the left thigh. It might be the case that this is enough of a stretch, in which case stay here. Otherwise, you might be able to fold on down over the brick or bricks, perhaps cushions or rolled up blankets behind the upper back. And then again, reach those opposite elbows up and behind the head, taking it into a heart opening stretch. Exhale to come up, press through the palms of the hands. Sweep that left foot in front of you, draw that right knee in and sit nice and tall. Inhale. Exhale, switching to the other side. So draw that right foot underneath the body, knees towards one another. Put a bend in that left knee, press through the left foot. Sit nice and tall. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lowering back down into that quadriceps stretch on the other side. Press that heart forwards. Draw those shoulder blades down the waist as you keep those elbows beneath the shoulders. Otherwise, folding on in, reaching for opposite elbows. Perhaps we switch the cross of the elbows here. Press that heart open. Tuck the tailbone towards the front of the mat. And enjoy that quadriceps stretch on the other side. Again, adjusting as you see fit, moving those bricks or cushions wherever feels comfortable for the upper to mid back. Just allowing yourself to get comfortable in the posture. So modify however you feel. It might be the case that this is already too much of a stretch, in which case you can remove the bricks from underneath you and just lower the whole upper body towards the floor. Take some deep breaths in and out into the pelvis, the lower belly. And then exhale, press through the palms of the hands and come all the way back up. Release that right foot in front of you. Draw that left foot in, sit tall. And then exhale, gently lowering onto the floor. Draw that left knee in towards the chest as you extend through left heel. Really feel that hip flexor stretch across the front of the right hip. Then drawing that left thigh across the body towards the right hand side with the right palm. We're going to take it into a gentle supine twist here. For an extra stretch, a nice stretch for the quadriceps muscles on the front of that right thigh, just reach for that left foot with the left palm and either look straight up towards the sky or look over that left shoulder and enjoy that deeper stretch. We call this one cat pulling its tail. It might be the case that you're able to press out through that left heel, drawing those toes back and lengthening through that left leg. Otherwise, keep the knee bent. As we're ready, on your exhale, switching sides, drawing that right knee in towards the chest. Extend that left leg out in front of you and then draw that right hip across the body with that left palm and then reach for right foot with right palm, lengthening through that right heel if that's possible, if that's okay, on the IT band on the outside muscles of the thigh. And then look over to right shoulder, bringing those right toes into those right fingertips. And then exhale, draw the chin towards the chest. Draw the knee in towards the chest, the knees in towards the chest. Draw those tummy muscles in towards the spine. And then exhale, gently release into your Shavasana. So it might be the case that you are resting with the knees in alongside one another, the feet as wide as the mat. Otherwise, lengthen through the feet, allow those toes to drop open towards the side, have those palms facing up towards the sky as you lengthen chin towards the chest, shoulders away from the ears, and just sink the body into the floor for your Shavasana. Rest here. Taking some deep inhales, deep exhales. And then as you're ready, start to take some deeper breaths, preparing the body to make some small movements on fingers, on toes, wrists and ankles, yawning and stretching, however feels natural for you. Then drawing those knees in towards the chest, the chin in towards the knees. Give yourself a hug and then rolling onto your right hand side. Pause for a moment before pressing yourself back up to a comfortable seat, facing this way. Bring the palms to touch in front of the heart, bow the head, sealing in the benefits of your yoga practice today. Yoga practice to help your posture. Palms to touch in front of the forehead for loving thoughts, to the heart center for loving intentions, and to the lips for loving communications. I cannot wait to see you next time. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.